Chapter 2, Canto 2, Chapter 7, which is Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions. And the text for today is text 1. Prabhuji, we can start with the Manglacharan.
Okay. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manavistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathapitam Tam Shajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Varshabhanu Suti Devi Paramami Hari Priye Vanchagapata Vashya Kripa Sindhubai Vacha Patitana Pavne Bhyo Vaishnavi Bhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayan Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Utam Shloke Bhakti Bhavtina Ishtaki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Sabudalishmade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tidamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashtati Shtarine. Text 1. Brahma Vacha Yatro Tyata Shiti Talodhara Naya Bibarat Rudim Thanum Shakala Yagya Mayi Manantaha Antar Mahar Nava Upagatam Adi Daityam Tam Damshtra Yadrim Iva Vajradharo Dadar. Translation. Lord Brahma said, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodak, the first demon Hiranyaksha appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. You can read the purport, Madhu.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Since the beginning of creation, the demons and the demigods, or the Vaishnavas, are always the two classes of people to dominate the planets of the universe. Lord Brahma is the first demigod and Hiranyaksha is the first demon in this universe. Under certain conditions, do the planets float as weightless balls in the air, and as soon as these conditions are disturbed, the planets may fall down in the Garbhodaka ocean, which covers half the universe. The other half is a spherical dome within which the innumerable planetary system exists. The floating of the planets in the weightless air is due to the inner constitutions of the globes and the modernized drilling of the earths to exploit oil from within is a sort of disturbance by the modern demons and can result in greatly harmful reaction to the floating condition of the earth. A similar disturbance was created formerly by the demons headed by Hiranyaksha, the great exploiter of the gold rush, and the earth was detached from its weightlessness condition and fell down into the Garbhodaka ocean. The Lord, as maintainer of the whole creation of the material world, therefore assumed the gigantic form of a boar with a proportionate snout and picked up the earth from within the water of Garbhodaka. Sri Jayadev Goswami, the great Vaishnava poets sang as follows. Vasanti dasani shikhare dharana tava lagna shashini kalani kalanka kalena nikmagana keshavadrita sukura rupa jaya jagadisha hare. O Keshav, O Supreme Lord, you have assumed the form of a bow. O Lord, the planet Earth rested on your tusk, and it appeared like a moon engraved with spots. Such is a symptom of an incarnation of the Lord. The incarnation of the Lord is not the concocted idea of fanciful men who create an incarnation out of imagination. The incarnations of the Lord appear under certain extraordinary conditions, like the above-mentioned occasion, and the incarnation performs a task with which is not even imaginable by the tiny brain of mankind. The modern creator of the many cheap incarnations may take note of the factual incarnation of the god as a gigantic boar with a suitable snout to carry the planet Earth. When the Lord appeared to pick up the earth, the demon of the name Hiranyaksh tried to create a disturbance in the methodical functions of the Lord, and therefore he was killed by being pierced by the Lord's tusk. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the demon Hiranyaksh was killed by the hand of the Lord. Therefore, his version is that after being killed by the hand of the Lord, the demon was pierced by the tusk. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms this version. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Over to you.
Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. I repeat the verse for today. Lord Brahma said, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean or the universe called the Garbhodak, the first demon Hiranyaksha appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. So in the purport, Prabhupada explained so many things. First of all, there are always two kinds of people, the divine and the demonic. In other words, there are two different natures. People endowed with divine nature and people endowed with demonic nature. In the age of Kali Yuga, more people are endowed with demonic nature, majority people. Very small percentage are divine people. And for your information, we also carry in our heart divine qualities and demonic qualities. So it's upon us whether to nurture divine qualities or to nurture the demonic qualities. The choice is ours. So if one takes up Krishna consciousness, then all the divine qualities will exhibit. And you can read in detail about divine and demonic in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The whole chapter explains this. The biggest difference between divine and demonic is the divine people obey scriptures. The demonic neither obey God nor his scriptures, or they even don't believe in it. So Brahma was the first demigod. We read this verse right in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Tene Brahma Adi Kebaye. Brahma was the first being to be created in his material creation. And then the Vedas were taught to him. And then Brahma did the sub-creation or the secondary creation. So those who can write the notes, the Lord did the sarga and Brahma did visarga. Sarga means original elements were given. Ingredients were given to Brahma, and Brahma then used those ingredients to create different species. So Brahma was the first demigod. And in the age of Satyuga, soon after Brahma's creation, there were first two demons created. The elder was known as Hiranyakashipu, who is the father of Prahlad Maharaj. I don't know if you remember the story. It's there in the Bhagavatam. How Diti approached her husband at the wrong time to conceive a child. and rather she forced. And there was some weakness at the side of Kashyap Muni. And then he even warned her that the children you're carrying are not going to be good children. They'll be demons. They'll terrorize the entire planet. But the good thing, both of them will be killed by the Lord. And better than that is their child will become a greatest celebrity as far as devotees is concerned. That is Prahlad. That was already foretold by Kashyap Muni to DT. So remember two things Prabhupada is saying. First demigod created is Brahma. And first demon created is Hiranyakashipu. Because in those days, there were no demons. It was Satyuga. Now, each planet, if you look in the sky, has an internal capacity, some internal constitutional strength to keep them afloat. Like you have an experience with a tennis ball or a balloon. You can throw it up like that. It can't stay up. It will come down slowly and fall down. And if it's a ball, it will land down again. But how come the balls, the planets look like balls? How come they are floating? And they are not even clashing. 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse of Gama Avishya. Krishna says, I enter into each planet, and each planet floats by my energy. It means by Krishna's energy. All these planets are floating, which includes sun, moon, all the planets you see in the sky, including stars. Everything has an energy of Krishna. Or maybe due to some misuse of the planet. Here Prabhupada gives an example that is in the present day, people are extracting oil, and one day the gravity will have an effect. We'll all shake if all the oil is removed from the underground. So remember, Prabhupada's words will never go wrong. A time will come when this planet will not be able to balance. So we should stop it, but the demons don't stop. And in those days, it shows that he must have removed a lot of gold, so the planet had fallen in the water. So the Lord assumed the form of a boar. Boar is like a pig or a hog. Have you seen a hog? It's common in Kenya. In many national parks, you see hogs. And they look like pigs, but they have horns here. There's another one very similar. It's called a warthog. Very similar. And the Lord assumed not a form, a small like that one, but a gigantic one. Very huge. Why? Because he had to remove the planet Earth, which is already gone in the water, known as Garbhadak Ocean. Now, Garbhadak Ocean, you should first of all know that the old planetary system is on the stem of Lord Brahma, stem of the lotus flower on which Brahma is sitting. And where the lotus is coming from? The navel of Lord Vishnu, known as Garbhadakshaya Vishnu. And Garbhadakshaya Vishnu is resting on a serpent known as Sesh. And under Sesh there's water. It means it's a balloon half filled with water. And half up, many planets are revolving. So that is the way we can understand. So since the planet had gone under the water, then Brahma was kind of worried. So the Lord dived inside. And as Prabhupada uses here, that he uses snout. Snout means the nose. And because at the end of the nose, two teeth are there. He picked up the planet and put it on his between the teeth. This is how the planet was removed. And because when the planet was removed, Hiranyaksha, who is the younger brother of Hiranyakashipu, he started fighting with the Lord. Oh, this planet belongs to us. You cannot take it away because it's in the lower region. So it belongs to us. Because the demons would stay in the lower regions. And the Lord had to fight with him. And he fought with him. And in the end, he killed him. Like the prayer which is written here from the Dasa Avatar. very famous prayers. One of the prayers we also sing. Tabakala Kamala Varena Kama Bhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranakashipu Talabringam Keshavadirta Harirupa Jai Jagadishari. The same poet has written about the Vara avatar, which Prabhupada quotes here. Vasati Darshana Sikare Dharanita Valagana Sashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimaganam Keshavadirta Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari. So this is one of the incarnations of the Lord. The Lord has 10 famous or the common incarnations. And one of them is the Vara avatar. Vara. This particular avatar or the incarnation we are talking about is Vara avatar. Just give me a minute. Sorry. So the Lord assumed the Vara avatar to rescue the planet. Now the two famous verses in Bhagavad Gita, which you all know, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, which means wherever there's a decline in the religious principles, I appear. And the next verse it says, Paritnaya sadhuna vinashaya. So why do I appear? To protect my devotees, to punish the demons, and re-establish religious principles. So all the incarnations, these two verses are applicable. So in this verse we find Hiranyaksha was killed, and the earth, which is also called Bhumi or Prithvi, was rescued. Prithvi is also said to be a consort of Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So, in ordinary circumstances, the Lord assumes, in extraordinary circumstances, the Lord takes a particular form, which is suitable. Just like to retrieve something from the mud or muddy water, the most suitable form is that of a hog. It can dive inside and it can remove it. And we will be reading about other incarnations like the fish, Matsya avatar, tortoise, Kurma avatar, then Vaman, Vara, Nashinga. All those incarnations have a particular purpose. And each of the purpose, the form has a particular mission. So all these are called Leela avatars. Vara avatar is also one of the Leela avatars, because he does his duty and then he goes back to Vaikuntha. So here, our tiny human brain cannot even comprehend or cannot even think what form the Lord can take. There are many people who think all this to be imagination. When they hear scriptures like Bhagavatam, or when they say that, oh, in Hinduism, these are the forms of the Lord, they kind of mock them. Oh, how can the Lord become like a hawk? How can the Lord become like a fish? Or like a tortoise? How can he become a half man, half lion? But it's very, very difficult for someone who is not a devotee. But one who is a devotee will accept all the forms of the Lord. So our tiny brain cannot think how the Lord appears and will assume which particular form, which was necessary. Just like to protect Prahlad Maharaj, you accepted the form of Lord Nishinga, which no one can imagine him. How Vishnu or how Krishna can become half man, half lion. But there was a purpose. The purpose was, first of all, when Prahlad was asked by his father, is your Lord in this pillar? He said, yes. So to substantiate the truth, the Lord appeared not as Krishna, but as Nishinga. Though Prahlad originally was seeing him as Krishna, because Prahlad's worshipper Lord is Krishna. But this form became more dear to him, which is that of Lord Nishinga. And he was fearless. Prahlad was not scared of the form, but whereas everyone else became scared, including Hiranyakashipu and all those who were in the assembly. They were all scared. And also, to keep the promise of Lord Brahma intact, like Brahma had given the promise that, he had asked a benediction, I should not be killed in day or night, on the land, in the sky, not by an animal, not by a man, not in the day, not at night, and so many clauses in that when he was asking benedictions. But the Lord fulfilled even Brahma's promise, and even warned Brahma that don't give such benedictions to people because they create so much havoc in the society. So we can hear this in the seventh canto, but for the time being, Vara avatar was taken up so that the earth could be ridden. And later in the Bhagavatam, we explained that the second reason for the earth to be lifted was Manu, who is the first man on the earth. Manu and Sutapa, Parshvi. Manu and Sutapa. They were first male and first female. Just like in the Bible, they have, what is the name? Adam and Eve. So the Bhagavatam also, more people say more or less they are the same people. So the pastimes of Swayambhava Manu is a devotee and a very, very pure personality. So Manu was told by Brahma to populate the creation, and he wanted the earth, and the earth was sunken in the water. So when the earth was removed, it started filling the planet Earth with so many human beings. Because he was the first human being. That's why it's called Manu. Swayambhav Manu. If you translate the word of Sanskrit, the Manu means a man. First man. And his wife was the first woman. So this way the creation needed a place so that human beings can stay. That is why this earth was lifted. So that is an eternal reason also. So Hiranyaksha tried to fight, and the Lord killed him. And that fight is worth hearing, how the fight was going on. If you see any Bollywood or a Hollywood movie, all those styles, they learn from the Bhagavatam. Oh, you are not carrying a weapon, I'll also throw my weapon, and I'll fight with you. And now you are barehanded, I'll also fight with you barehanded. Because you did this, I did this. All those dialects, they've copied from Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can hear that exciting fight between Lord Vara, who is Vishnu or Krishna, and Hiranyaksha. So even Hiranyaksha's killing will be discussed again later on. Here is only a glimpse given. That's why this chapter is called Scheduled Incarnations. That each incarnation appears at a scheduled time. So this was a time when the creation has not even begun. At that time, they needed a planet. That's why the earth was removed by Varaha, Vara incarnation. And this Vara is not like the Vara we see in our national park or in our villages. In India, they're very common. They drink water from the gutters. No, they're not like that. This one was a gigantic ball because Brahma was worried who will remove the earth. And so to remove the anxiety of Lord Brahma, the Lord appeared from the nose of Lord Brahma. Imagine like a small dot. And from that small dot, a small piece of a living entity, it became, in matter of seconds, a huge ball. And this pastime took place. So Bhagavatam gives you all these pastimes. And it is guaranteed. If you hear all this, especially these 10 incarnations, then guaranteed you'll go back home, back to Paradise. Daily you have to hear, daily, each of these pastimes. That's why in the birthplace of Krishna, which is in Vrindavan, they sing a prayer known as Vibhava Rishesha. Vibhava Rishesha is sung before Mangalarti. Like in our other temples, the Mangalarti starts at 4:30. When in Vrindavan, it starts at 4:15. But that is the order of Prabhupada. That you sing Vibhava Rishesha, after that, you sing the Mangalarti, because that's the land where Krishna took birth. So it's a beautiful prayer, and if you hear the prayers, all the incarnations are mentioned. All means all. Whether it's Vara, Vaman, Matsya, Kurma, Ram, Parshuram, then Buddha avatar, Kalki avatar, Krishna, then Balaram, everyone is mentioned. So you can remember all the incarnations. And as you remember all the incarnations, you're getting freed from sinful reactions. Because people, these days especially, in the demonic kind of people, they don't believe in God, number one. And even if they start believing, they will not accept the Lord assuming the form. If you're born in a nice culture, especially Indian family, they teach you from the young age, the parents, that these are the incarnations of God. And you should read Bhagavad Gita, you should read Mahabharata, you should read Ramayana. In this way, we get faith into these books and faith into the personal form of the Lord. Because Vara is not impersonal, Vara is also personal. Though it looks like an animal, but it is Krishna. Many other forms Krishna takes, like Hamsa avatar is like a swan. Then there's a, what do you call it? An incarnation, it look like a horse. But it had a purpose. Each incarnation is a purpose. You can read all the incarnations of Srimad Bhagavatam. Many of them are mentioned in this particular chapter. So the opening verse speaks about Sukara Rupa. Sukar means a hog. The Lord appeared looking like a hog. That's why it's called Sukar. And he performed his pastimes. So what can we learn from this purpose? Many things. First of all, Brahma is the first demigod. And the first demigod is who? Who was listening to the class? Who was the first demon in the creation? Material creation? Anybody likes to answer? If Brahma was the first demigod, who was the first demon? The first demon is Hiranyakashipu. I mentioned earlier. The father of Prahlad Maharaj. Otherwise, there were no demons. And the demons are always against demigods, always. They fight. And this fight goes on and on. Prabhupada says, just like there's always an argument between a believer and a non-believer. It refers to the same. A believer is a divine person, comes in the category of demigods. And non-believer comes in the category of demonic people. And we find so many demonic people. And the demons are out there to do things simply to ruin the creation or to create havoc in the creation and bring about so much trouble. And they steal the peace away of the people. Just like in the modern history, not very long ago, the atom bomb was created. It's the work of a demon. Then these electronic items have been created again by the demons. Of course, we are using everything in the service of Krishna. But actually, a time will come that these things will create a havoc in the society. For example, so many problems are created by mobile phones. People become like so much absorbed in mobile that they forget everything else. Then people use technology so much that they cannot do even simple mathematics. They can't. And we are going on towards a world in which a time will come when people cannot live without these electronic gadgets. They'll keep a gadget always. Like today, many people, if you tell them, oh, there's no Wi-Fi, they feel very bad. Oh, no Wi-Fi, how can you live? So it's shocking when you don't have, like in our temple, sometimes some guests come and they ask for the Wi-Fi word. And immediately, if you don't get it, they are like very annoyed. Then they'll say, oh, can I use your mobile phone? I have some urgent work. So people are crazy behind mobile. And today, the culture, the way of life has been made in such a way that we are actually become dependent on it. We have to depend on them. And if you don't know, then we are in problem. For example, if you go to look for a job, That many people will ask you, oh, are you computer literate? If not, you won't get a job. You must know a computer. But there are many people who never learned computer in their lives. In our schools, we never used computers in our times. Computers were put into place maybe 10 years after we left the schools. So this way, more we become dependent on technology, on these gadgets, we will become more or less slaves. And the time will come, these things will actually program us in a particular way. And you'll find how the world gets destroyed. The famous scientist Einstein, he said, when man becomes dependent on technology, it becomes nothing but a zombie. You know what is a zombie? A zombie is like a crazy man. And everybody will be like zombie. And we can actually see the effect now. You see people walking on the road with a mobile glued like that, looking into the mobile and walking. And many times they don't even know there's a car coming. They can get an accident. While crossing the road, they are busy with their mobile. While eating, they are looking at the mobile. And the food is going on. They are eating. They don't even know what they are eating. They don't even look at the plate. In the scriptures, it says you should not eat if there's no light. Don't eat in the dark. Because who knows what you're going to eat? Always eat when the light. That's why all the devotees mostly they eat by sunset or around 7:30, not later than that, which is good for the body and also healthy. So we can read here also more that more demonic civilization goes up, then they want to exploit everything, what the earth is giving. And no wonder if the earth stops giving things. No wonder. Like when you come to the fourth canto, we'll hear of a king called Vena. Vena was a demonic king. And in his reign, the earth stops supplying anything. The earth stops supplying crops, minerals, and so many things. Because he was so demonic. And when the Lord's expansion, Prithu Maharaj appeared, he brought back things in order once again. And then everything was, what do you call it, made proper. So we should try to understand very nicely that we should live as per the scriptures, the way the scriptures say. The scripture says, live with the planet, live with the environment, and keep the earth green. Because more the earth is green, more healthy we can be. And we find today in the cities especially, the greenery is practically destroyed. And even outside, the forests are becoming fewer. Though the government says, oh, don't use wood and as fuel, but people don't listen. They do whatever they want to do. So all these things should be considered when you read this purport. So the symptom of the incarnation of the Lord is that he assumes a form which is a necessity. He knows that this is the right form for me to appear, like to destroy Ravan. He could have destroyed him in a natural way, but he was benedicted that he will not be killed by any other species, only by a human being with the help of the monkeys. So the Lord assumed the form of the human being, Lord Ramachandra. So when Vishwamitra was told, when Vishwamitra asked the question, if there is a being on this planet who is endowed with all the good qualities, and then Narad said, yes, there is. He says, who is it? Excellent quality. At the same time, fearless, obeying the scriptures, and a perfect king, perfect brother, perfect husband, so many things. He said, who is that? He's the king of Ayodhya, and that is Lord Ramachandra. So this was written, Ramayana, imagine, was written while Ram was here. It's not a history. This is reality. The first Ramayana was read to the children of Lord Ramachandra, Love and Kush. They learned the Ramayana. And then this Ramayana spread all over the world. So each incarnation of the Lord has a specific function for the good of the human being, for the goodwill of the human being. So that when we hear his teachings, his pastimes especially his pastimes, if you understand, of any incarnation of Krishna, you'll find it has such an amazing effect in your spiritual life. And it is easy to understand pastime if spoken by a devotee. If a devotee is reading about the incarnation of the Lord, just like right now we read about the Vara avatar, then there's Kurma avatar, Matsya avatar, Parshuram, Ram, Nashinga, Vaman, Vara, Krishna, and so on. Then you feel so good, like if you read Ramayana, there are parts which can help you go through difficult times. If someone is going through extreme difficulties, sufferings, then the best book is to go through Ramayana. If one wants to live a very happy family life, read a Ramayana. And you can know how to live with your wife, wife's relatives, your own family, extended family, all in one home. And that's what Prabhupada has done his best to create ISKCON. ISKCON is a bigger home in which the whole world can live. This is the magic of Sri Prabhupada. That the whole world can come into ISKCON and live very happily. Nobody has done this before. Only Sri Prabhupada has done that. So this is the greatness of Sri Prabhupada. Prabhupada did not see who came from which background, who came from which religion, whether it's a male or female or child. He didn't care. If anyone was accepted to the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, beginning with the chanting of Hare Krishna, was able to join ISKCON, and they have lived in ISKCON. Those who understood the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they live in ISKCON. And this is how ISKCON thrives year after year, bringing a very good result. And even now, we find many new people joining, many new countries joining. Though ISKCON is in every country of the world, everybody likes the teachings of Ramayana, teachings of Krishna, teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. ISKCON is giving you all three of them. And also side like Kapila Muni. All the teachings come in this. So when you read these teachings, try to follow them, understand them nicely, and put them in your life. Then you can execute Krishna consciousness very nicely. Very. And he's given us a very simple process. In Nairobi, we have designed a very small card. I myself have designed that card, in which is in a very simple way. The card begins by an understanding who's not looking for happiness. Everyone is looking for happiness. People get happiness in cars, women, drinks, food, and so on. But very few people go inside to look for happiness. And that inner happiness comes when you chant Hare Krishna. So that is the logic behind our teaching. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished that everyone take up these teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jare dekho tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. Hamara agya hai, taro hitesh. And in other words, he says, Bharata bhumite manushya janma jara. Janma sarthakari kari kara para upkara. Sorry, janma sarthaka kari kara para upkara. Anyone is born in India or anyone is an Indian body, it becomes his natural duty to practice Krishna consciousness and then give Krishna consciousness to others. Then one will get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different from Krishna, it's Krishna himself. So every incarnation is a purpose. And if you understand each incarnation and the mission or the purpose of his coming, then our faith becomes solidified, stronger in Krishna consciousness. And as our faith becomes stronger, practicing of Krishna consciousness becomes very easy. Hare Krishna. So there's 5 minutes left. If anyone likes to add something or any questions, please do ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for today's session and telling us about the first demigod being Brahma and the first demon being Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha. Prabhuji, so the avatar of Krishna in the form of wild boar was appeared from the Nasika of Lord Brahma. So this was we know about the 10 main avatars, and probably they would be described in this chapter. But there are many more avatars of the Lord, innumerable avatars of the Lord. So are they also appeared from Brahma, or?
No. It's only this one appearing from the nose of Brahma. Because Brahma was in anxiety. To remove his anxiety, the Lord specifically came out of his nose. But if you go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, simplified in a book called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, there's a whole chapter known as avatars. And all the avatars you can read, all the avatars. There's 6 avatars. Purusha avatars, Lila avatars, Yuga avatars, then what do you call it? Manavantra avatars, then Lila avatars, and so 6 kind of avatars. You can read all of them. And you can see, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Sanatana Goswami that these avatars are the prominent ones. There are endless number of avatars. Endless, not 10, not 30, not 100. They are endless. There are so many, which is not only appearing in India or Bharatavarsha. They can appear anywhere and do their work. For example, like if you go to Bhavishya Puran, there's a mention of Jesus Christ. You'll be shocked. Written earlier. The Lord will empower a person known as Jesus, means he's written as Isu. And he'll do the work of the mission of the Lord. Just mention that. Even Muhammad is mentioned, who is the person bringing up Islam. So all these preachers of God consciousness are mentioned in the scriptures. And if someone's name is not mentioned, then we should not accept him. Sometimes people have blind faith, they'll accept anyone. We don't accept like that. There has to be some proof, some evidence in the scriptures. No evidence, we don't accept it. Is it okay, Motherji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Any other questions or comments from the group?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Priya Govinda. Hare Krishna.
Jai Ho. So, Prabhuji, thank you for a wonderful class. I have a question. Why are these incarnations of Krishna scheduled? Because Krishna can appear anytime, spontaneously.
Yeah. Though it's
So why
written, but if you see the purport of 4th chapter, verse number 7, 7 and 8, in the purport, Sri Prabhupada says that Krishna doesn't have to follow the schedule. He can appear at any time. Anytime, anywhere, by his sweet will. Is it okay?
Yes. Or for the purpose of our understanding, that's why it's written.
Yes. Like he does appear as per schedule. For example, Krishna's appearance is in the 7th Manu, in the time of 7th Manu is Vaivavashta Manu. Then his time is given at the end of Dwapar Yuga. Then there's the entrance of stars, the star known as Rohini, which is the Saturn. The Lord appears. That is Krishna avatar. The same way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's avatar is also mentioned there. So each avatar has a particular timing, but at the end, Prabhupada also says that by his sweet will, he can appear at any time, anywhere. in any land and perform his purpose. The Lord is not bound by these rules and regulations. No. Okay, Hare Krishna, good question. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, any other questions or comments? If there are no questions or comments, we have today P.G. Das with us. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for joining in. Oh, it's Priya Govind Prabhu, it's the same. Okay. Sorry, Prabhu, I thought it was a new devotee who has joined. But still, you are welcome. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
She
Three
always
Hari Bols
wear a
for you.
tilak. You put tilak, then we can recognize you more quickly.
I heard, I think with time, it has come out with time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
No,
very
it's not.
hot.
It's not fall. It's rainy. Lot of rain.
Maybe it was, maybe it
No,
must have been washed by the rain.
Okay.
Okay.
Hare
Okay, thank you very much. So then I hand over to Path Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you able to unmute? Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. Sorry, I was late because I was in a house program, so I came late. So what is you supposed to tell about Rukma Prabhu's class? That is always nectarian and simple and short. Very nice, Prabhu. So I just request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of His grace, Rukma Prabhuji. Is our senior devotee, please.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Rama Hare Hare. Vanchata
Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva
Okay.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Rukma ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hari
you
Bol.
very
Hare
much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.